welcome to ET Inside, where we get you a 360-degree view of the big picture in business and economy. I am Sridhar Ramakrishnan, and here's what we have for you on the show today. FDI in retail has once again got mired in political wrangling. We give you a blow-by-blow account of who wants what and why. Despite the deadlock, Beale Street is abuzz with anticipation of India eventually opening up the sector. So who will tie up with whom? And how FDI can dramatically change India's weak supply chain. A top story first. A few days ago, the Union Cabinet opened up multi-brand retail to foreign investment and increased the limit of ownership in single-brand retail from 51% to 100%. Industry has cheered the move, saying it's the right thing to do. But India's opposition parties want no foreign investment in multi-brand retail. But what about the Indian farmer? And what about you, the Indian consumer? Will you benefit from having foreign retailers on Indian soil? Swati D'Souza and Nikhil Sivadas find out.
FDI के प्रवेश की जो अनुमति
This scene is a familiar one. Middlemen and traders have traditionally stood up against the entry of foreign players in the retail sector. So when the cabinet passed the proposal to open the retail sector even more, the voices of dissent were expected to be loud. And the opposition played to the galleries.
We are in complete opposition both to the merit of the issue of opening up the opening up the retail sector for FDI, and the method in which this decision was taken when the parliament was in session.
पीछे साजिश है, otherwise कोई कारण नहीं है सडन अचानक ऐसा लाने के लिए.
Conspiracy theories apart, the government had little choice but to push for FDI. For one, the government has been under attack for not taking any initiative on pending reform measures. For another, inflation, especially in food, is stubbornly high. Modern retail can potentially drive prices down by creating a better farm-to-fork supply chain that cuts out middlemen and wastages. And since the investment in back-end can run into hundreds of crores of rupees, deep-pocketed retailers such as Walmart, Carrefour and Tesco are needed.
हमारा मानना है कि रिटेल के क्षेत्र में एफडीआई बढ़ने से आधुनिक टेक्नोलॉजी भारत में आएगी, कृषि उत्पादों की बर्बादी कम होगी और हमारे किसान भाई बहनों को उनकी फसल के बेहतर दाम मिलेंगे.
But FDI in multi-brand retail has always met severe opposition because it's feared that opening up the sector could lead to a severe loss in livelihoods in the unorganized sector. However, independent research doesn't seem to bear this fear out. According to an ICRIER survey of more than 2,000 unorganized small retailers across 10 major cities, the average rate of closure of small businesses is only 4.2%, and only 1.7% of these closures were on account of competition from organized retail. Better still, an analysis by consulting firm BCG shows that unorganized retail, which is currently estimated at $400 billion or 20,80,000 crore rupees, will touch $984 billion by the year 2020, even if FDI is opened up. Despite that, FDI in retail is a political hot potato, and here's why. According to the NSSO in 2007, retail trade employed 7.2% of all of India's workers and provided job opportunities to 33.1 million people. That's nearly 3% of India's population, and so the huge political interest.
हमारा जो स्थानीय रिटेलर है वो उजड़ जाएगा और ये केंद्र ने आखिरी वार किया है और ये फिर बेरोजगारी को बढ़ाएगा.
The biggest advantage that a kirana store has is its proximity with consumers. According to ICRIER's survey, the mean distance to a kirana wala is 1.1 kilometer compared to 2.6 kilometers for an organized store. In fact, 64% of small stores were within a radius of 500 meters. The second big advantage is the system of credit. 35% of kirana walas give cash credit to customers. As much as 21% of their sales come from cash credit. And last but not the least, Kirana Walas have relationships to bank on and can cater to changing customer preferences.
Obviously, an entrepreneur takes lots more care of every item he's got, every customer he's got, and there's this level of comfort he forms with the customer that he knows exactly what the customer needs. So mom and pop stores in many ways are super specialists in what they do.
The reason why FDI is important from a consumer's point of view is that it will help do away with intermediaries who are currently calling the shots as far as the prices of staples, fruits and vegetables are concerned. Take for instance the case of tomatoes. According to a study by consulting firm BCG, the farmer gets about 30% of the consumer price. And here's how costs pile up at each stage in the value chain. The aggregator adds 14%, the market trader 5%, the wholesaler 18%, the sub-wholesaler about 12% and the retailer about 21%. Just 54 paisa of every rupee spent by the consumer on tomatoes is accounted for by farmer realization and value adds. The rest of it is divided by profits and leakages at all levels in the value chain. Sure, FDI in multi-brand retail will have a negative impact on middlemen, but it may actually be more beneficial for farmers and producers.
We would just be getting more investment into this country, more jobs into this country and better prices for the farmer. Why do people want to keep the farmer in penury and in poverty?
BCG's report also states that if India wants to realize its true retail potential, organized retail could well contribute to 4.5% of its GDP versus just 1.76% currently, and have a market penetration of close to 21% versus the current 6 to 7%. BCG says that this could help producers earn $35 to $45 billion a year and improve realizations by 10 to 30%.
Currently, the farm gate prices to the retail prices is about 25 to 30% for Indian farmers. If you look at Western economies where retail is actually developed, that number is about 50 to 70%. So I think what we would see is increased realizations to the farmers.
BCG says that the sector could create 3 to 4 million direct jobs and 4 to 6 million indirect jobs, which will mean an additional income of 72,800 crore rupees a year. And consumers would be able to save 1,56,000 crore rupees a year with a 5 to 10% savings across categories. But that's possible only and only if investments are scaled up and technological know-how is improved. And so it's important now more than ever before to push for FDI in multi-brand retail.
That's right. And India cannot afford to delay this any further because it needs to grow its economy. But after FDI is allowed, how will the retail landscape change? That's coming up in just a bit. Don't go away.